And welcome to another LEGO set review. Today we're taking a look at LEGO set number 75203 Hoth Medical Chamber. This is not the first time the Bacta tank on the Echo Base has been represented in LEGO. Previously there was the Echo Base set number 7879 where it did have a Bacta tank in the corner, but this one is much more focused on just one room, whereas that one, here's a Bacta tank. It doesn't look like anything from the movie. This one is actually much more accurate because it's focused. Before we look at that, this one does not have any sticker sheets and of course it has an instructions booklet. Instructions are very easy, but what I don't like is you got these big spread pages here where it's just like one piece. They could have squashed these two steps, for example, into one page and you just put a black line there. That would have been fine. Instead they use more paper and you just, it's more of the flicking through the pages, just kind of gets annoying sometimes. So I like pages like this. Yeah, I know it's building like a smaller piece, but you know, 1, 2, 3, 4. Instead of 2 steps, it could have been 4 steps per page. On the back here also shows all the other sets from this release. I do want to pick up this X-Wing a lot. Not so much the Sandcrawler, I like it, but I don't care about it too much. But I really want to pick up the X-Wing, so I might do that in the near future. And on the back here, you also have a minifigure guide for this line of releases. And of course a parts list. Enough of this, so just looking from the outside, you can see that it's put together. There's no roof or anything, and this side there's no wall, because so you can easily access all the stuff inside it. But if you want to, you can build your own wall there, or just have like a white piece of paper to pretend it's snow, and I think it'll look pretty good. What they've done here is they put a medical room here, and you've got like a corridor area here. You can look inside these windows to see him, Luke in the back of the tank, or anyone else in the back of the tank. And they didn't bother ignoring this bit. You've got some shelves here, some little clips for holding items, so it isn't completely barren. So unlike most LEGO sets, I feel like this LEGO set is viewable from all the sides, all the corners. Even the outsides are represented as part of the scenery. After all, you also have this medical bed here. Not sure what this medical bed is. I don't remember this from the movie, but it's nice, as I say, some details, a little cupboard there, little panels. All these panels are printed, by the way, so that's pretty awesome. This one might be the most boring side, but there's still some sort of details there. It isn't just like a flat surface. It's like some sort of phantom machine going on. I'm guessing this is the only side that you're not really meant to look at. This is the back, so it's a bit messy, but again, it's not just a flat piece, so I appreciate that. And what you do with this is you open it up and you can see more of the room. And the weird thing is, even when it's closed like that, it still feels like a rough, fairly full-size room, but of course once you open it up it makes more sense. Oops. This is the bed where they had incestual kiss. That's why Leia kisses Luke, and just to show Han off. And more shelves there. So that's pretty cool. I like how it's easily recognizable. I can recognize the Bacta tank, sure, but I can also instantly recognize this bed from The Empire Strikes Back. So that's pretty awesome. Inside here you also have these little wedges, like little snowy slopes. I like those little details there. It's going to out of the way. More shelves here, cleaning sink and some random bottles. Not quite sure that should be there, this green bottle, but whatever, it's there. And inside these shelves they did give us more syringes, and I think they put a pair of scissors here. Yeah, medical scissors in this shelf in the bottom. So we've got more of those. So they definitely give you plenty of accessories for the medical droids and all that. I'm not really sure what these little things are. They look like milk duds. Like, hey, you're sick, have some milk. I don't know. Looks alright. There's a little bit of red detail inside here, and he comes off way too easily. But he's there. And he has another control panel behind him. And we have like a medical droid. Let's get out of the way. And we have Luke here in the Bacta tank. The way this works is you just tilt this back, and there is a little minifigure holder there, and you just put them in there. That's effective enough. For filming purposes, you want to snap this back piece off, probably, and then you have something attached to the back of Luke, and then you just lift them up, just like he does in the movie. So, but as a play feature, it's alright. And even if you can't make it go all the way back, like you can't tilt it all the way back, if you actually have a piece of wall there, you can still access Luke if you want to, just enough. So overall, I think this is a very nice build. I like room builds, scenery builds more than vehicles, and as a fan of classic Star Wars movies, I actually really like Echo Base. I just can't afford the big set, but it's so tempting just to go in there and splash money on it. as a small tiny Hoth room, and I like it a lot. And if you see my previous videos, you know I have other smaller Hoth sets as well, and you know putting them all together is pretty awesome still, even though I don't have the big base sets. But this is quite nice. I like how focused it is. Those big sets are nice too, and they have many scenes from the movie, but they're also jammed together that doesn't quite look like they do in the movie. So this one, it's small enough that it's not quite to scale, but it still keeps the iconic look and layout of what it does in the movie. So I think kudos to the designs there. This looks really awesome. In this set we have 3 figures: Hoth, Leia, Back-to-Tank Luke, and a medical droid. The medical droid is pretty standard. We've seen him before. His torso doesn't really move. He's got decent enough molding and decent enough paint job. He's recognizable, and he just has regular droid legs. Nothing too special about him, but you know, he looks the part, and of course it's important that he's here. So I'm glad he is here. Looks pretty. Huge plastic saving and money saving techniques on the back. There's nothing on his back. Luke here is, I think this is like the second time he's got the Back-to-Tank look. He's of course been updated. He's got his eyes closed, he's got a bruise mark on his eyes, and I think the print job on his body and his leg area is pretty decent. And Legos cleverly just avoided that fold area there on the leg, where even they mess up the print sometimes. So the designer's like, oh, look, stay away from that. Let's not mess that up. So they avoided it. I like those metallic details on his face mask as well. Of course, he doesn't have any side printing whatsoever, and this print does cut off right at the top, which is frustrating. But it gets the job done. For the most part, you're not going to really pose this character in epic poses because, you know, he's just in the Back-to-Tank. On the back there, he has a happier face, but he still has a bruise mark, so that's alright. And he's got decent enough printing. But once again, my biggest problem with this figure is that the white paint on the figure is not white enough. Which in some senses it works in its advantage, because you're thinking, hey, white underwear is technically slightly see-through, so you're not going to get it that white. But we have a white piece of plastic there, which hugely contrasts this white underwear area, and it just doesn't match. Lego's had this problem for many years, and am I the only one calling Lego out on this? Why does bootlegs use more white paint than official Lego? It's very frustrating. It just doesn't look good at all. And then we have Hoth Leia. This is like the third design of her. The previous version of her with flesh skin has a more of a yellow suit. I didn't buy this set where she came with it, so I just got the keychain one because I really like Hoth. I can't get the big one, so I'll get the keychain. That thing is pretty good, and for some people might like that one more than this, because in the movie her jacket does have a creamish color tint to it, but it's nowhere near as strong as that previous version of the Leia figure. Here it looks much more like her. And while there is no creamish color tint printed on her jacket, the lining, the cross section is that color. So when you look at it from a slight distance, it feels like the jacket is a darker shade, a creamier shade compared to the rest of her outfit. So I think that looks pretty good. So this one does look better than the previous one for me personally. But I still have, I still like the old one for how like different it looks, and it's kind of unique. On the back here she has a happier face. I guess that's after she smooches Luke, so yep. And yeah, I actually do have a Hoth Han Solo, so I can actually sort of complete this scene. I like this set a lot. I think it's great that it's an affordable, small size that still recreates a iconic scene, iconic location from the movies. And it's great for those of us who can't afford the big base sets, that we can still get pieces. And I hope in the future that they can maybe release more Echo-based bits. That would be great. I think this comes along really nicely with like the previous Yoda's Hut set. That was awesome, and a New Hope Cantina set, which I'll also review. I think these are really nice small location sets. They're pretty cool. Lego's been doing this for a few years now for the Star Wars movies. I think they're great, and I think the scale and the size of them has increased authenticity compared to how the movie is. I think about a few years ago, for example, we had the final Jew from the Phantom Menace. That was shrunk a bit too much. I wish that was just slightly bigger. And perhaps in terms of budget, maybe remove one of the laser gates, just have one and have the entire set be a bit bigger. That would be great. As for stuff even earlier before that, when you had the Emperor's Throne Room, that was maybe a little bit too big, and again, it's not quite as affordable as these sizes. But I mean, it was an awesome set, it was just expensive. So I think Lego sort of found a nice middle ground here where it's not too small that it's unrecognizable, and yet it's not too big that most people can't afford it. For the price I paid 265 Hong Kong dollars for that, and I think it's a little bit more than the US prices, but this for me is completely acceptable. I don't need too many vehicles, I want more base sets, so I enjoy this a lot. If you're a fan of Empire Strikes Back and you're a fan of the Echo Base, I think this is a definite important set for you to pick up. If you already have many of the other Hoth sets, like some of the bigger ones, I think this is still a good pickup. It will fit nicely next to those big sets and can easily expand your Echo Base. As always, if you enjoyed this video, found it useful, please consider clicking the like button, subscribe button, and leave a comment below how you feel about this set or any of the other smaller Star Wars scenery sets. I personally like them a lot. As always, you can support this channel by heading over to Patreon or simply staying here and turning ad block off when you watch the videos. Leave a comment and help the YouTube algorithms. And of course, most importantly, take care, have a nice day. I'll see you guys soon, and may the Force be with you. Don't be a scruffy looking nerf herder.